Hi folks. So it's been a few weeks since I've had a chance to sit down and just give a little update here about Jason and what's going on with our family, and I keep wanting to do it, but it's kind of amazing how quickly time is flying and how much time is just completely standing still. We are almost 3 weeks post-op, and we are 2 weeks since Jason got to come home, which has been amazing having him home. I think that he is doing better because he's home and he's more comfortable and he's in an environment where he has his family with him. He is recovering, and he's recovering really well. He was diagnosed officially with something called Nocardia, which is a bacteria that is commonly found in the soil, but it's not common for people to get it. In fact, it's incredibly rare for someone to get it. It's rare and it's very deadly. And a lot of times when you breathe that bacteria in, it presents itself as pneumonia. For a really select few, it can move on to organs, such as the brain. And Jason is one of those select few, and it moved to his brain. And they performed the emergency surgery and they removed that. In order to get Jason bacteria-free, infection-free, he had to go on a really intense and aggressive treatment, at-home treatment. And at first they didn't want to release him because they weren't sure how that was going to work out, and they weren't sure if I could handle it or if it was something that we could handle. And as soon as I found out the only thing keeping him home was their needing to talk to me or find out if I could do the at-home treatment, I said, you just teach me whatever you need to teach me. He needs to come home. I want him home, and he wants to be home, and you have no reason to keep him here. Tell me what I have to do and I'll do it. And so what we're doing is, for the next 42 days total, we are at day 28, but who's counting? I drive to the hospital at 7 a.m., 3 p.m., and 11 p.m., and I pick up a time-sensitive IV antibiotic called Bactrim. I drive it back to the hotel, which is where we're still currently at, but we'll be back in the trailer starting next week. I drive that back to him, and then I administer that to him through a portable IV. Jason has a PICC line that starts here in his arm, and then it runs and it goes straight to his heart or some area in here. And that's how the medication is administered. I hook him up to this IV, and then for the next 90 minutes, 3 times a day, he receives this life-saving antibiotic. And that has been really intense for him. Jason, towards the end of a treatment, feels pretty exhausted. The medicine hits him hard. He's better every single day the more he does it. But he is also taking 2 oral antibiotics that I call Doxy and Moxy, because that's their shortened names, and don't ask me to pronounce the really long name. And so those are administered 3 different times a day as well, along with nausea medication because he's nauseous from the antibiotics. We're doing probiotics to counter the antibiotics. He's also taking an allergy pill to kind of offset the sort of what seems like allergic reactions he gets to this Bactrim. So it's pretty intense, but it's working. His CRP is, and I can't remember what that stands for. I know the P stands for protein. And that's how in the blood, that's kind of how you look to see the level of infection that someone has. And I know that that has dropped from 2.8 to last week's blood work said it was at 0.8, which I guess is still high, but it's better. And so we're here in Minot, North Dakota, and we're going to be here for at least another 4 to 5, maybe 6 weeks, which is going to put us towards the end of October before we really start to think about leaving and heading towards the Quad Cities. Jason is wearing a helmet 24/7 because he is still missing that piece of the skull that they had to take out. And it'll probably be after the treatment. They won't even talk about putting it back on until he's completely done with the antibiotics. but it's probably going to be at least another 2, maybe 3 months. And we're trying to decide if that's going to be done here or if we're going to go back to the Quad Cities and have it done there. You're probably wondering why I'm sitting in the truck. A, because it's quiet. B, because I have a few more minutes before I have to pick up the 3 o'clock dose. So I thought I didn't have the kids with me and this would be a good time to do this, you know, sort of update that I've been trying to do for the last 2 weeks. But that's kind of like the baseline of everything that's going on. At this point, 2 weeks into this at-home treatment, I feel like today it really became clear to me that this is becoming more of a mental game for Jason and I than it is a physical. We're both exhausted. You know, I will not claim to be anywhere in the same ballpark as Jason, because not only is he tired and struggling to sleep, but he has an incredible amount of medication pumping through him and his body is healing from really intense surgery. But we're both tired. There is life that has to continue. Work has to continue. The kids, everything continues around us. And we're doing our best to hold it all together. Jason's eyesight is still compromised. And it is possible that it will always stay compromised. But the ophthalmologist said that his eyes would learn to compensate and that there won't be anything that'll keep him from going back to the life he knew, including driving. But, you know, the nerves are fried back there and you just have to give them time and patience is sometimes hard to come by. But we are working at it. I'm driving this truck around. I'm not going to say I'm driving it like a boss because I hate parking lots. This thing is so big and I always feel like I'm going to hit something. But thankfully I haven't hit anything. Oh, I need to knock on wood. Oh no. But I haven't hit anything yet. And everyone seems to be doing fine. And the kids aren't freaked out to be in the truck with me. So I think we're doing good. But you know, at this point, it's just a mental game. And it's keeping those spirits up, because that gets really hard when it's the same thing day in and day out. And you want to feel like your life is moving forward. And right now we feel like our life is moving forward, but it's moving forward at like we're the snail and we're, you know, or we're the tortoise and we're not the hare. And if you know us as travelers, we tend to be the hare and not the tortoise. So this is tough, but we're getting it done. And we're getting it done because you guys, you folks are just overwhelmingly amazing. You continue to pray for us and lift us in the light and surround us with love and cheer us on. And when it's like we get these packages and it's like people just know that tomorrow Abby might feel a little down. And like I got a package today, and today I said to Jason earlier, I said, I just feel like a little bit of our fighting spirit is waning a little bit. Like we're really struggling right now this week to hold on, you know. And then I get this call that I have a package, and I go and I pick it up, and it's this really beautiful, just like thinking of you sort of thing. And it's those moments where you realize like it's just a little bit bigger than you are. This is just a little bit bigger than you are, and it's okay to be down, but it's not okay to stay down. Offer grace and forgive ourselves, and we can't ask why, but we can ask, how do we grow? How do we learn from this, and how do we move forward? And that's what we're trying to do. And we may not always do it the best. And sometimes we may not always be at our best with each other or with our kids. But we're giving each other a lot of rope right now and just trying to hold on to that light and that love and the constant prayers that are coming from all over. And we're really ready to go home. And we'll get there. But it's time for me to go get his medicine. So thank you so much for constantly checking in with us. Please keep checking in with us, because it just reminds us that we can do this. And I'll see you. All right? Bye.